Wichita.
Open streets. Yeah, we do open street events here in Wichita in 3 different locations on a yearly
Yeah,
basis. Yeah, they're a lot
it's
of
kind of
fun.
like that, but she's
Yeah.
looking for urban ones to continue the research.
Yeah, drop her information, because I know some of our providers in the rural areas some of them are like real involved with some of the provider coalitions and such, and they may be able to be a good resource I could pass on if you want to share that information.
Sure, they've already done it in some of the rural areas. Now she's looking for urban areas.
Urban, yes, sorry, yes.
Sorry, yeah. So, and I've done a few education classes for daycare providers, so something to think about too. So,
for sure.
Jan, did you used to be down here in Sedgwick County?
I used to, yes.
I thought so. I recognize your name. I'm in Wichita, so
okay.
Yeah, I was like, Jan McMahon. I know that name. So good.
Yeah, I retired from there, got bored, and a job opened up in Wyandotte County, and I said yes. Life's crazy circles.
Yeah.
To retire and then get bored.
Yeah,
Right?
I did. I was like, if I sit and watch more TV and eat more junk food, I'm in trouble.
But I do want to have that opportunity. Like I want to retire and then see what happens. I want that choice. That would be nice.
Janice, I'm going to put my email in the chat. If you want to send me that information, I can share with some of our physical activity researchers. And I think we're gonna get started. Rhonda emailed that in her new position that this meeting time overlaps with one of her standing positions or meetings. So in the future, we might want to send out a doodle poll to change up our meeting time so she can participate again. I probably won't do it until next month though. So be on the lookout in your email for that. Next, we're gonna just do some introductions. We're gonna have everyone share their name and organization, and then what's your funniest irrational fear? And if you can't think of a funny one, it's okay, just a fear you have. I'll go first. My name is Natalie Updike. I work at the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative at Children's Mercy, and I support sectors of our physical activity plan, one being this sector. I was talking about this last night, trying to think of one. I think my funniest irrational fear is probably the kiosk person at the airports. I think I have publicly cried to one of those people at the airline more than any other person. That's always when I'm desperate and need their help.
That's funny.
Lori, would you like to go next?
I can do that. Good morning. My name is Lori Lanter. I am a licensing specialist with Wyandotte County Child Care Licensing, and also a co-chair with Rhonda Erpelding on this sector. My irrational fear is ninja mice, and I call them ninjas because I just feel like they jump out at me. I had a goat, and all of the grain and stuff would, especially in the winter, push them inside. And so I just feel like they're hiding and waiting and want to jump out at me, even if they're not there. So ninja mice.
I can go next. I'm Kelly Cahill from Daycare Connection in Lenexa. We're a food program sponsor for the USDA's Child and Adult Care Food Program. We go to about 17 counties right now. So we administer, the providers are getting reimbursed for serving nutritious meals in their child care programs. And my irrational fear is going through the car wash, because I always feel like somehow I don't get my tires on there right. And one time it was all wacky, even though the person thought they were guiding me. And so now I don't like going through the car wash. It scares me.
I can go next. I'm Chris Nicholson. I'm kind of the outsider to this group. I am based in Wichita. I work for Child Care Aware of Kansas. So I kind of bring the perspective, the full state perspective from Kansas, and been in kind of early childhood wellness for a long time. And I just like learning a lot of things. my position title is Quality Initiative Senior Program Manager. So just even with that title, it tells you that I do a lot of different things. Everything everybody said is an irrational fear, but I don't know if this is a fear or just something I need therapy for, but I have a great fear of losing to that bird team in football. So I am a huge purple freak, and it is becoming more and more scary that they're finally starting to have what they call a football team. So I'm just putting it out there. And again, I do, my family thinks I need therapy for it. I totally agree. I do. It's totally irrational, but that's how deep I believe purple. So there you go.
Again, I'm Jan McMahon from the Wyandotte County Extension Office. I did the FNET program in Sedgwick for numerous years, and now I'm rebuilding the program here from scratch. One of the fun things I did in that in between retirement stage was I worked as with schools as a para, and I did special needs kids. And the last job I had was at Shawnee Mission Early Childhood Center.
Are you fearless, Jan?
Oh, fearless. Jiminy, that's right. I remember as a kid watching the old movie Birds. So every time I see a blackbird, I go, okay, are you friend or foe? How come I watched that? I don't know, because I even hated Alfred Hitchcock, because that would give me nightmares.
Jan, I still cannot get through that movie. I have tried several times, and I had a convertible at one point in time, and I got like swooped down with an owl, and I was like, the birds. So I'm with you on that one.
It's like, now little birds I like.
I'll go. My name's Kelly Clay. I am the newest member of the KC Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative with Natalie. And right now I've just been going to the different sector meetings and seeing kind of where everyone is at and learning more about the collaborative. So fun fact is when I did my practicum, I actually worked for Go Knapsack. So I did their professional development trainings for screen time and physical activity. So if anyone has done those professional development stuff, those are mine, which is fun. And then I'm deathly afraid of stinging insects. I have like a fear that they're going to be stuck in my clothing, and then I'm just going to be stung until I'm like a balloon. So there you go. Irrational or not. So
We have a couple more off camera. Do you want to unmute yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Megan Neville. I work for the Newton County Health Department in Missouri. But work for, like, I do MCH, I'm a nurse here, but our goal is early childhood obesity and physical activity. So our coordinator at the state had recommended me kind of joining your guys' meetings to see if they would help us kind of with our goals that we're trying to do in our community with activity and childhood obesity. So I would guess my fear would be, I don't know if it's irrational, but spiders in this time of year.
And what's that other, those stink bugs, those flying, like, do you guys get those where you are? Like they're just,
I don't know. I just try and avoid
all bugs. Right.
But they had talked about the new one on the East Coast with the 4-inch leg and the flying, and that freaked me out. So.
Oh my gosh.
But thank you for letting me join your meeting. I appreciate it.
Of course. Has Bonnie already gone?
No, I'm here. Hey, I'm Bonnie from Mercer County Health Department up by the Iowa border. I work for the Public Health Department, and again, we are also working with childhood obesity and activity And I just want to kind of see what kind of ideas that you guys had here in this meeting. My biggest fear, I'm a quilter, and I have a whole room of material and a whole bunch of probably 200 plus kids, and I pray I live long enough to do them all. Or my daughter don't mind if I do, because she goes shopping at my quilt room. So that's kind of one of my fears. Thank you.
Great, thanks everyone. I think we'll move on to our next thing on the agenda. I don't know if all of you saw, but at our earlier this month, we shared a save the date. If you, for our Diane Craft event, if you would like me to send it to you again, I can do that. Just let me know. I can send either a PDF or a picture. Here, let me pull it up. I'll update it a little bit once we open registration. I talked to Kathy at the Family Conservancy, and I think her plan is to make registration open on July 15th.
And then Natalie, will you, whenever that is done, will they send us like the link for registration so we can share that?
Yes. I'll ask Kathy too, but I'll also send it to our mailing list.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pull up, sorry, I have so many tabs open. But I was gonna pull up our budget again to look at that. I did cost breakdowns based on enrollment. The one I think I showed you last time was for the middle one. So I priced out some food estimates, got a quote from Hy-Vee. This column here would be the like totals. Do I need to zoom in or can everyone see?
You can read it good.
Okay. And then minus our sector funds, this is what we would have to cover. And then I divided by if we have 150, 100 or 200 participants.
So do you think you'll just round that to $20 or something just to be safe? Like, have you guys decided yet on the fee?
Yeah. When I talked to Janelle from the Family Conservancy, she thought it was better we're conservative and make it $25, especially since we haven't totally priced out all the materials yet. But I think we'll talk about, like, put it up to a vote today to see what everyone's comfortable with. I am meeting with Lisa Lauer, she had some contacts where she thought she could get some of the materials cheaper. So we're going to actually go through and budget that next Wednesday together. So I'll have a better idea of what the actual cost of our material should be after I meet with her. So I know that especially Lisa really wanted to offer this for the lowest price possible. But I also think $20 or $25 is still very reasonable for 6 clock hours if we do want to go with that. I also wanted to confirm some of the food items I had priced at Costco, or just to make sure I shouldn't add something else or I'm getting enough of everything, just because I haven't purchased for a group this large before. We are going to have water coolers, but I did price some beverage options just because we're only going to have coffee in the morning. So I thought people might want iced tea at lunch. So I put those in there, and then some flavored bubble water in case they don't want just plain water, and packs of normal water. And then these numbers in this column were like the individual number of bottles for those pricing. Do you think those three options are sufficient or unnecessary to have that many? Does anyone have any opinions on that?
I definitely think that is well covered. And I mean, we typically have just done like water or, I mean, I think I think it's really nice if you have the money to do those, but like having two choices for the tea and the flavored water, like that's really generous. So, I mean, I think either way is just fine. I don't think people would expect all of that, but that's really nice if you can.
Yeah.
I
think
agree,
we have-
Kelly. I mean, I think the flavor water, the bubble water is nice to add. I think that's just really popular now. But if we have to decrease, I'd say water and tea are two good options to
Mhm.
have.
Okay. That price I showed you on the previous chart was including them, so I think we do have the ones to cover them. And then as far as the snacks, I have no idea how many bags of fruit to buy, but I have 6 bags with between the oranges and the apples for 100 people, and then I put 5 bags for 150 and 6 bags of each for 200. I don't know if everyone will take a whole fruit or not. And then I had they had like a mixed office box that had 66 items in it. So I put a few boxes there, and that's how many total items would be.
Natalie,
100
will you remind me, are they, do they get any kind of fruit in the lunch?
They do.
If they, I don't, I'm just, we in the past used to do that also, like for snacks now in the morning, like if we did a Saturday thing and we had breakfast, like we'd have some muffins and cheese sticks and then some bananas. It seemed like sadly the fruit was always the last to go. But I'm just thinking if they have it with their lunch, like I'm not sure we need to do that if we're doing other snacks like the popcorners and stuff. I mean, that's just, since it is expensive, that's just my thoughts just on our past experiences with it, especially if there is one with their lunch. But that's, just our experience.
It's a good point. I think I
think-
thought maybe like people that didn't get breakfast in the morning session might like a piece of fruit.
I think it's important for us to kind of model that too, because we are the physical activity and nutrition, and I think that I think it's important to have a healthier option, because when I look, a lot of
That's
people are avoiding carbs and sugars, and when I look at the office snack box, like with my diabetes, I'm looking at that and there wouldn't be anything on there that,
No, that's a good point.
well, peanuts, I guess I would do, but I'm just thinking some of those people, and then plus who we should be modeling for. So
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good point. Do we want to do more, like, and take away some of the carby snacks and do more of that and push that?
I think that the majority are going to want those types of things. I'm just trying to think of the ones that can't or shouldn't.
For
And
sure.
like my own population of providers, I know there's far more of them that should be eating
Right.
the
No,
fruit than those other
definitely.
things.
For
too.
sure, Lori. Oh my gosh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and they do get it in there. What do we know what comes in the lunch, the fruit in the lunch?
I don't think they've specified. I can ask.
I think it just said whole fruit, didn't it?
Yeah, I
Whole
just said
fruit, so
whole
it'll be
fruit.
the whole fruit.
You can now Google, but it used to be a book called Food for 50 that would tell you how many pounds of fruit you need of apples and stuff for the different amount of people. And I think you can Google it now.
That's a good idea. I just
So-
was saying, I just feel like when we've done that, we always had a lot left over, so maybe we just don't go, but I mean, yes, we definitely want to model that. One time, something we did too for the afternoon snack that, and we'd have to make it and prepare it, but we just took the little cups, like the little plastic cups, and we cut up carrots and cauliflower and broccoli and put a little bit of dip in the bottom, and that was really popular for an afternoon snack. But that's a lot of prep for that many.
I've seen yogurt parfaits done, use the Greek yogurt. So you just have to, put that out in a bowl and then have a couple little toppings for people to put on. And I was surprised. I saw it in the afternoon. I would have thought of it more as a morning thing.
Uh-huh.
I love the ease of the already packaged in trying to serve this many people. In the planning committee for it, I know we talked about having a possibility of an activity for the snack or, some type of little recipe
yeah.
or something, but I think just for ease of getting it done, if we're not having that as actually part of the training, then I'm all about make it easy.
Yeah, and that's true. That's such a big group that the whole fruits may just, be the way to go.
And potential for more waste, because at least if it's prepackaged and if it's left over, then it can be used for another event or something. Whereas that
True.
if we do something like that, it's got to go.
Right.
Okay. I also added those popcorn chips from the planning committee, suggested those at our last meeting. The next thing we talked about were day of jobs. I have created this genius that I'm gonna send to everyone. Oh no, well, I messed it up, so I have to send it later. But here. 1 second. Sorry. I'll just show the spreadsheet until I get those time slots corrected. But I have the following jobs that day. I think I made the executive decision to delete this person because I figured the roamer, we can just put that in their task to fill in the snacks and beverages as needed. I have everyone reporting like 15 minutes before like the lunchtime in the schedule or the make it and take it and set up and breakdown. I have 2 different shifts for the certificate disbursement. So one for the first session and one for the second, as well as a room check-in, 2 shifts. So like for the first session and the second session after lunch. And then the door prize person, I broke up into 2 shifts. So one would do the morning session and one would do the afternoon session. So once I fix those time slots in the sign up genius, I'll send that out to everyone and have people start signing up for those slots. Next thing on the agenda was related to the make it and take it kits. We've scheduled a work day loosely for August 13th. And it's going to be with Kelly at Daycare Connection. I can put the address in the chat.
And I think you were just going to let me know if you guys wanted to do it during the day or the evening, right?
I haven't heard back from Joan and her students, so that's kind of making the time dependent.
Either way is fine, so.
If
I'm pretty
anyone,
sure if Joan's students weren't going to do it, that everybody else who was wanting to or willing to help prefer the day.
yeah, workday hours.
Yeah, either way is just absolutely fine.
I don't really know what it entails since I haven't made these, but I'm assuming it won't take us more than a couple hours to do, but I don't really know. Has anyone constructed these or Diane craft activities before in this meeting?
No.
No, okay.
Well, I think
Um,
a lot of it was cutting things out. So even if I needed to take some cut out stuff with me, like that wouldn't be terrible.
Right.
It's not terrible homework.
Okay. Also when I met with Janelle, I talked to her about shipping them all the materials that we purchased to you, Kelly, at
Okay.
Daycare
Fine.
Connections.
Yep.
The contract is signed and everything's paid for the conference itself, so that's good news. We've got Hy-Vee lined up with the credit card, so they're ready to go too. So I think really just these materials are the last like purchasey thing that we need to do. And that's all I have for updates on the conference.
Just something
Yeah.
else with everybody else. I know we have a lot of great door prizes that were lined up from the people that are in the committee. But if anybody else had anything that they wanted to contribute, we wouldn't turn it away. So
Megan had a question. Did you see that, Natalie?
No, I didn't. Thanks. Oh, sorry. I'm talking to everyone like they know what we're doing. For you that don't know, we're hosting Diane Craft, who's going to be offering a 6-hour clock hour training at the Johnson County Arts Heritage Center in September. And it'll be open to anyone in Kansas and Missouri ECE providers. It'll focus on physical activities for the early child care age that they can go back to their settings and use. The Make It and Take It kits are going to be an activity that we're going to put together during the conference, and then they'll be able to take them back with them and facilitate physical activity with their kids. We have 2 different activity kits. One involves like a balloon and pantyhose, and another one is like a swap-a-fly, which people seem pretty familiar with and kids really seem to enjoy. The thing is we've got a limited time frame to actually construct them at the conference. So we're going to prep some of the materials ahead of time when it's work day to just make putting them together faster at the conference in September.
Thank you. And that's on Saturday, September 7th, right? I think I've seen the flyer for it, but
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and as Lori was mentioned, we've got some great door prizes already, and Rob's dropping some off, and Philanthropy at Children's Mercy was able to donate like little scooters. They had like 20 of them donated. And then Lisa has some physical activity bags, like duffel bag type things that she's donating as well. I think we'll use the next part of the agenda. We have a few Kansas City HLC announcements, but I'll give all of you the opportunity if any of you has like organizational updates or events coming up to share with the group.
Just to let you know, I will be opening up 2 jobs for the expanded food nutrition education program for our nutrition assistants. So you can contact me for if you have anybody. These just require a high school degree and time as a homemaker, or, knowing to cook, babysit, those type of things, and some knowledge about low income audiences.
Hopefully I'll be able to share. We're working with Kay and Katrina at Family Conservancy to maybe do a 4-hour nutrition thing maybe in November, because they have there's a couple good training events in October through Family Conservancy. So I don't think we want to conflict with that, but we're trying to work together to do one for maybe November, but for sure in the spring, and one that would be centered around gardening. There's a grant, or they didn't get the grant, but they're still hoping to put together kind of a cool gardening training that we're hoping will still come through. But we would love for everybody to share that when we kind of get some of those nailed down. So we'll down the road share more with that, hopefully.
Jan, do extension employees have to work within the county? Like
No,
live
they
in
do
the
not
county?
have to live in the county. They can transport wherever. And of course, it's a state of Kansas job, so the benefits are wonderful.
I will let everybody know that I think I've mentioned on this call before, we used to have Maddie Wagner join us sometimes. Unfortunately, our funding for our Child Care Health Consultant Network was not moved forward for the next year. Yeah, very sad, Jan. So we're they really did a lot of great work with programs, providers. Their focus was health and safety, working on non-compliance issues with KDHE across the state. And we had 2 consultants in the Kansas City area. So we're no longer able to offer that, but if anybody ever contacts you, Lori, as you're working with providers and they're wondering about that, Jan, if you're out with programs, they can certainly contact Family Conservancy. We're pushing that kind of those services to our regional community consultants, which are based in our child care resource and referral agencies. And of course, in Kansas City, that's the Family Conservancy.
Chris, do you think that'll ever come back? Like, is there a chance for that funding to be reinstated down the road?
The base funding, of course, was through ARPA, through COVID, which has caused a lot of things to go away.
Yeah.
It could come through, and we were hopeful that another agency would pick it up, or through another funding stream. It didn't happen. It was kind of fast moving. So, it could, a lot of things resurrect themselves. So, one of the really important aspects of that project was that they worked with potential new providers, because we have such a childcare crisis, a capacity crisis, that they were able to support them. But anyway, I just wanted everybody to be aware of that.
Okay, if that's it, I'll move on to our announcements. Our next Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative meeting that we host at the Kauffman Foundation in person. It's a hybrid meeting, so if you can't come in person, you can also attend virtually. We'll provide breakfast. It is going to be September 26th at 9 to 11 a.m. And this month will feature our Kansas City CDC REACH project. So they will talk about their 3 strategy areas. They have a physical activity, nutrition, and family healthy weight program are their 3 strategy areas. So each of those groups are targeting different initiatives throughout the next 4 years. And they are going to present what they've done. They've mostly done their landscape review in the first year. And then they'll actually start implementing projects with community partners going forward. So they're going to have some of their community partners speak to us about what their plans are and talk about how additional community partners can be involved in the work that they're doing. I'm putting the link to register for that in the chat. And also just to keep in your mind in the future, I believe our January meeting is actually going to focus on an early care professional researcher is going to come and present at that January quarterly conference. Katie wanted me to mention that our Kansas City Physical Activity campaign called the Move Together KC campaign. The official launch is going to be July 15th. Let me share my screen. So some of you may have seen this before, but we had put up a lot of the resources on our website to help engage community members and our sector members, as well as just the general public. So if you go to our Kansas City Physical Activity Plan website, you can see a lot of those resources. If you click on the tabs, there are different images you can use, talking points, a press release, and B-roll. Anyone is welcome to use these to be part of the campaign. If you tag your organization, then we'll repost you. The idea on the 15th is to have our partners post on that day about their organization or them personally joining the campaign. In the chat, I put a link to the press release, so you can use that language in your own posting if you would like. It's editable to include your names and organization. You can also, if you use that and want to do a campaign, you can post some of that language and use some of the images on our campaign website. If you would like to be featured on the campaign itself, we are looking to include more of our partners. I don't think early child care has been featured yet. If you go onto our social media, you'll see some of our other partners like ShareWaves and Bike Walk KC have been featured. So we would like to include some more of you guys if you would be willing. You can reach out to me and Katie can connect you with our marketing team that's helping us. And I'm going to put the links to the campaign's Facebook and Instagram pages. And then really the next thing I have is just our next meetings. We meet the fourth Thursday of the month. So next one will be July 25th. I mentioned that after that, we might consider changing it so Rhonda could start attending again, but I think we'll hold it for next month the same. And then our planning committee for the Diane Craft opportunity is going to be the week before on July 16th. If anyone wants to attend that meeting, it's at 11:30 a.m. and I can send you the invite for that if you're not already on it.
Natalie, will you make sure I am on that mailing list?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure last time. I think I
Natalie, are we doing any kind of program or any kind of schedule for the Diane Craft event that they pick up? I'm just wondering also if we do have something, maybe a short bio about Dr. Craft, and then also recognizing those that are donating door prizes on that. And then kind of the run of events, here's when to expect lunch, here's, that type of thing.
Yeah, I don't think we've developed anything like that yet. For you that are new to the group, here's the agenda for that day. But I guess what are you saying, like some sort of like poster or something like we put in their folder when they come in?
Either or. I mean, I typically, there is something in the folder so people can kind of, follow. This is fairly easy. I mean, there's not a lot going on. So even just a couple posters up, whatever is easiest. But I would like to make sure we give recognition to those entities that have contributed door prizes.
Okay. That's a good idea. I might be able to provide them some little like thank you, like Kansas City Physical Activity, like pins and notepads and stickers and stuff too. Now that I'm thinking about it, I have so many pins. I should bring those for program participants at the conference.
Yeah, it's amazing how many don't arrive with, like you just said, something to write, ideas down on, or even, writing utensils. So yeah, grabbing some of those. Family Conservancy may have some of that swag stuff too, or I'm sure others probably do.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else to share? Any questions?
This may be something that would be more discussed in the planning rather than in this forum, but do you know if on the registration information, we're very clear about the 2 separate sessions and the credit for that? You know what I'm saying, since if they're late, that 15 minutes, that they can still attend it, but they're not going to get the credit for it, and that there will be 2 separate certificates that are issued for that day. Or
I'm
maybe I'm
not
overthinking
sure,
that.
but that's a good thing to follow up with Kathy and make sure, because it sounded like one state was used to that practice, but maybe not the other one. Okay. Make a note to do that.
When Rob comes by, I'll email you guys and let you know if he did bring bags. So if we need to start looking for different source, for the bags, we can. I thought he said last night he was, but I'll let you know for sure.
Be sure to tell him hi for me.
I will.
Is there anything else that we need to ask attendees on the registration? Like, I know we're planning on asking about dietary restrictions and which sandwich they want.
Can't think of
We
what
didn't
else
talk about it in
we
this.
need.
Oh, go ahead.
Allergies.
We're wording that as preferred, aren't we? So because the way we're doing it, they may not end up with what they intended on getting, right? I
I
mean,
think if they put vegetarian or they need gluten-free, I think we talked about writing their names on them, but all the other ones are like, yeah, it's kind of, hopefully people remember what they ordered.
that I just, it's about wording when it comes down to that.
Yeah.
Which meal do you want? What are you ordering is different than which one would you prefer, so we can
That's
get
a
a
good
count
point.
order. Right, but
Good point. I think at our next meeting, we'll get more into the weeds about the evaluation too, after we talk to Lisa some and then review their questions that they've come up with their epidemiologist, and then we might be able to add a few of our own. Okay. I think that's all I've got, unless anyone else has got anything.
Yeah. Have a great day and stay cool.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, stay cool and be healthy.
That's right. Bye, everybody.